Citizens, denizens, and penitents, welcome to Tomio Kasom, your host Toso. Today I wanted to sit down and talk about, not ironically, but I'm happy to say a very awesome movie, and that is the Super Mario Brothers movie by Illumination. Now, disclaimer, I don't really mess with Illumination films. I'm not a fan of Despicable Me, don't care for The Secret Life of Pets. Truth be told, a lot of those movies are catered to kids anyway, so they're just not going to be my speed regardless. But this movie, because it's Mario, everybody knows Mario, I grew up with Mario, big fan or whatever, I had to go and see this movie myself. And I'm happy to say I feel like my expectations to an extent was exceeded. I'm not going to lie. I expected this movie to kind of be okay. Like, I was expecting to feel like how I felt for the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie that came out in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, to where it's just like, okay, this is a nice step in the right direction. And I feel like the Super Mario movie is definitely that, without a doubt. I feel like it is definitely a step in the right direction. However, I do think it takes certain liberties that it didn't have to take. You know what I'm saying? For me, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of action scenes and anime and whatnot. So the fact that there was a fair share of action scenes in this movie, it actually surprised me. I really thought this was gonna be another goofy piece of shit like the not all the Illumination movies are bad, obviously. But I really thought this was gonna be a movie to where it focused mainly on the fact that it's for kids rather than showing an appreciation for the source material. And I really feel like they did that. Obviously, there was a shit ton of Easter eggs in this fucking movie. I mean, you watch the movie, left and right, you're gonna be met with Easter eggs left and right. And, oh yeah, I should have said this in the beginning, I am gonna keep this spoiler free. I don't wanna talk about the details, the gritty of the movie, because I know people still have not seen the movie. But no, I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. Not only that, but because I know a lot of people in the very beginning, me myself included, I'm not gonna lie, I was not the biggest fan of Chris Pratt's voice when I heard it initially in the first two trailers. I don't know if it was two or just one. I think it might have just been the one. But when I heard Chris Pratt's voice, I was thoroughly disappointed, as much as anybody else was. But to hear it in the movie and see how it's used and how he takes advantage of how Mario sounds, this specific Mario sounds in this universe, I was like, okay, this is fine. Like I like this direction. Everybody else's voice was great. Seth Rogen was amazing. Donkey Kong was actually probably my favorite character behind Bowser. Jack Black did his fucking thing. Absolutely fucking killed, absolutely delivered. One thing I do applaud this movie for is that the liberties that it took, it was executed very well. There's a lot of scenes, not a lot of, but there's a couple of scenes where characters kind of do things a little more out of the ordinary than you would expect, and it works in this sense of the film. It makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like they actually made certain changes so that it worked with the story that they were telling. And again, I appreciate it. I love that. And all in all, this movie was just a shit ton of fun, man. This movie was so much fun from start to end. It was like the pace was just very consistent. At times where it went up, but there was never a moment where the pace just kind of went down, or I felt like we were dragging it a little bit. I really feel like I had a great time with this movie. The only critique I'll say is that we did move a little, as much as I like the pace, I do feel like there were certain scenes that were, I wouldn't say rushed, but I would say certain scenes would transition into the other one almost as if it had to be urgent. Like it almost didn't feel seamless or almost didn't feel natural. That, and there were certain characters that I would have absolutely loved to see a lot more, but unfortunately, either they were kind of pushed off to the side, showed up as a cameo, or they really didn't do anything up until the end. So I feel like those are the only two critiques I have, but all in all, like I said, overall, it was great. Had a great time, had a fun time. I literally was kicking my fucking feet. Of course, there's post-credit scenes insinuating that there's going to be a future movie, and I can't wait to see what they do with that one for sure. If I had to rate the Super Mario Brothers movie on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a sucker for action. I'm a sucker for a great time in a film. For me, like, I don't ask for more. I know a lot of people, they're very critical. They're very heavy. You know what I'm saying? They gotta find every single nitty gritty detail. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. As long as the movie entertains me, I will consider that a plus versus a movie that checks all the fucking boxes, but it's boring as shit. It's either boring as shit, or it's too fucking long. Zack Snyder's Justice League, fucking 4 hours? Are you kidding me? Anyway, if I put this on a scale from 1 to 10, the Super Mario Brothers movie is a solid 9. It's a 9 out of 10, man. I'm not gonna lie, I loved this movie a lot more than I really thought I was going to. I really hope you guys take some time to go watch the movie, enjoy yourself, grab a friend or two, just sit down and watch it and appreciate what they actually did for this film. There's a lot of things that goes into this film that I feel like people don't talk enough about, and I feel like you could find that for yourself. I'll see you guys in the next video.